Welcome back, boys and girls, to another edition of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. Our first guest tonight is a special guest, someone here who lives in the neighborhood, superstar originator Thom. Andy, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you. I like what you've done with the place.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? I made it myself. So tell the boys and girls a little bit about how you came about working for Envoy Mortgage and your beginnings in the mortgage world.
Yeah, so my mortgage journey begins in 2016. I get licensed through a company who I won't drop names of companies. But
Rhymes with Schmeedum.
I get licensed through them. I go through their whole class, pass the test, all those things, and end up not liking it. After 6 months of being there, really just didn't like my mentors or any of my management team there. After 6 months of being there, I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go drive Uber. I'm making more money doing that. And that's what I did for the next 4 years or so, and then the pandemic hit. I am diabetic, so I didn't want to be driving people around during that time, and I got a call center job, and it was fine. It paid the bills, but it's not what I want. I've always wanted to be the person that makes my own check. I've always been in sales up until the mortgage. When I got into mortgages, I had 10 years of sales before that. Cell phones, cars. So sales has always been in my blood. I like making my own paychecks, and I don't like taking no for an answer. So from the call center position, I actually called a friend of mine, Jim, and he was opening a mortgage branch, and it sounded like a great fit. It made sense. I wanted to get some advice from him, and here we are today in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome journey. So on a day-to-day basis, what is your favorite part of the job?
It's a great question. So my favorite part of the job, honestly, is having a management team above me that doesn't hound me. I'm not one of those people that like to be micromanaged, and that is not something that happens where we are. So that's my favorite part of it. The second favorite part of it is helping people get into their first time home buying situations. The look on people's faces at closings, from everyone, from the selling agent to the buying agent to the buyer, borrower, to the title company, everything goes smoothly almost every single time. And the look on people's faces when you're taking those pictures together for little family times and just memories that they get to create because they worked with you, and it's just a great feeling.
Awesome. Now, if you were a realtor watching this video and you didn't know anything about Envoy Mortgage, what would you tell them as to why they should work with you or work with Envoy Mortgage?
Well, one, you should always work with me.
Right.
Never. I mean, no one else is even an option. No, we have a great team here. Technically, even though I started in the business in 2016, I'm kind of still newish, right? Last year, I did, I think it's 59 loans, and of those 59, I want to say it's 27 to 29 of those were first-time home buyers. But the big difference between me and anyone else is I'm single. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have those types of responsibilities. So my phone rings, I answer it 24 hours a day. 3 in the morning, you have a client who maybe is a nurse or a doctor, and they
3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a client who's a nurse or a doctor, and they have special needs. I'm there for those needs because I don't have all those other things going on in my life. Would I like those things? Sure, maybe down the line. Maybe when I turn 25, 30-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I'm always there for your client, and I know that the rest of my team here is as well. And though I have a little bit more responsibility on my plate these days, it hasn't changed anything. I will always be communicative with you. I will always answer on the first ring, which is the most important thing to me.
And you've been really good at developing realtor relationships. You were here in Jersey, here at this office. You were given the opportunity to go over to Philadelphia. Can you give an idea of what's different in this market as compared to the new market you're at over in Philly?
Philly's tough. Where I am over in Fishtown, it's definitely not as loose a group of people. They're a very tight-knit community, and they like to work with their people. It has been a little bit of a challenge, if you will, to infiltrate that neighborhood in loose terms, but I like that challenge. After being there for almost a year, we've done a little bit of business. We're hiring one of our first loan originators under me to join my team. I'm very excited about that, and it's a long play, but it's going to be a great play in the end.
Yeah, I had an experience. I first went over to Fishtown to open up before we came here when I was at another place, and I met with a realtor, and we had a really awesome conversation. We had lunch, and he's like, yo, I want to go out next Thursday night. We'll go and hang out. And I was like, okay, cool. What time do you want me to pick you up? And he was like, 11. And I was like, 11? On a Wednesday? You want to pick up at 11 p.m.? He's like, yeah, there's a midnight rooftop champagne toast, and then we're going here. And I was like, what time do you get home in the morning? He's like, we'll roll in about 3. I'm like, dude, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm old. I am definitely not awake at 3 o'clock and ever at 3 o'clock in the morning. At midnight, I am not doing a champagne. I was like, let's go to like a Flyers game. And he's like, what? So it was a totally different group of people. And it's absolutely a younger, more, modern type thing. An old guy like me ain't hanging out over there too much.
Yeah, so maybe that's also another difference between maybe me going over to Fishtown and, Attico Rooftop Bar, Bach Bar, all those places. I'm willing to go to those places at 11 o'clock at night. So, but you can also get drunk at a Flyers game.
Yeah.
And they stink.
You're an equal opportunity drinker, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay, so personal question. What do you do outside of mortgages that kind of fuels your soul, or what are your passions that you have outside of that?
So when I want to get away from everything and clear my mind and reset things, I go to Disney World. It is something that has been a part of my life, my whole life. My grandmother was obsessed with Mickey Mouse. Not so much Disney World, but Mickey Mouse everything. Mickey Mouse pots, Mickey Mouse crock pots, everything in her kitchen, Mickey Mouse, and butter knives with Mickey Mouse logos. It was just embedded in me from a very early age.
Nice.
Growing up watching beta movies of like Aladdin and things like that. That was my childhood, so that's what I was kind of stuck with. After I got hit by a car when I was like 8 years oldish, 7, 8, and my dad declared the area unsafe. We moved to Ocala, Florida. And Ocala, Florida is not something you'd know on the map. It's about an hour and a half north of Orlando, but at the time when we moved there, it was the #1 place to move your family in this country, and I'm so happy that my parents did that for us. By doing that, it made me very close to Disney World, so I started going there a ton, and I never got sick of it. I have phenomenal, really close friends in my circle, and we all like going there. We all go together. I go twice a year, but even though I'm down there, I'm still working. So first ring, even if I'm in line for test track or maybe Tower of Terror, which I've never done, I do plan on doing this year. But I've never stopped working for you. None of that gets in the way of that. But it is a nice reset to go on vacation and come back clear-headed and just ready to crush it.
All right. Last question. Alive or dead, you get to pick one musical artist to come to you and play 2 songs. Who's the artist and what are the 2 songs?
Oof. I would pick John Lennon. The songs, it could be any songs he wants to choose, honestly. And the guy
Beatles
was
songs
so
or John
good.
Lennon's solo songs?
Beatles songs for sure.
Okay.
My dad was a huge Beatles fan. I grew up listening to that. We took so many road trips, and it was just Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts, the entire album all the way through. I mean, you can listen to every single song on that and not skip a track. But my father was also an artist, and he drew this phenomenal portrait of John Lennon with a black and white grayscale kind of thing. And we still have it to this day at our house. And that picture makes me think of him, and that's who I would want to have dinner with or have them play me some songs.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by, Andy.
Hey, thanks for having me in the neighborhood.
Stop in again when you're around. We'll be right back.